Hi guys, welcome to the first official episode of All Things Equine with RS. This week we are going to focus on show jumping and I will talk a bit about what show jumping is, the format of classic show jumping, things I keep in mind whenever I'm at a show competing. Also going to be talking about one of the most influential athletes of our sport. For those of you who know the very basics of show jumping and wish to skip it, please forward to 3 minutes and 17 seconds. So, show jumping is essentially an individual sport with the cumulative scores of riders counting towards their team as well. Conventionally, each team has 4 members, and the best 3 scores are added up to make the team score. In show jumping, more falls means a worse rank. So, in principle, the aim of each rider is to get the least number of falls. To understand what qualifies as a fall, we first understand what a show jumping course is. A course is a set of sequential jumps fences set at particular distances and angles from each other, set at an average height, which is to be ridden from start till the end without stopping, taking a wrong turn or dropping a fence, and finishing within the time allowed. For each pole dropped, a rider gets awarded 4 penalties. Same goes for each refusal. Mostly all competitions eliminate the rider after 2 refusals today, but in a few countries, 3 refusals are considered an elimination. Refusal in layman's terms is when a horse doesn't jump the fence it was supposed to jump in the set sequence. The rider also gets penalized for exceeding the time allowed. A single penalty applies for each second over the time allowed. So we've basically established that a rider's general aim is to finish jumping the course in sequence of the jumps without refusing or dropping a pole within the time allowed. But what if 2 or more people manage to do that? How does one break the tie? Here comes the concept of jump off. The jump off is basically a race against the tie holders to jump a mini course of fewer fences with incurring the least amount of penalties in the least time possible. Whoever manages to do that wins. Now, when I say that the tie holders are to jump a mini course of fewer fences, what do I mean by a mini course? A mini course is essentially a choice of fences out of the course that the riders initially jumped, which is predetermined by the jury and informed to the riders while they're walking the course. So, just as an example, if my course has 10 jumps, the jury might announce jump number 1, number 5, number 7, number 9, and number 10 to be jump off fences. So, if I get a clear course without any time falls or jumping penalties, then I go for the jump off. So when I'm doing the jump off, I go and jump fence number 1. Then instead of going towards fence number 2 or 3 or 4, I go directly towards fence number 5 because that's the jump off fence. So essentially, I skip number 2, 3, and 4 and head straight towards 5. So that's what a jump off is. If you have any questions about jump off or anything else that I explain in the basics, you can always DM me. So now that you understand what the show jumping sport is and how it functions, let's properly explore what a course is. A show jumping course to the untrained eye might look like an assortment of numbered jumps, but it actually is a puzzle for the horse and rider to solve. There is no unique solution to it, as each horse and rider combination are different and are bound to face different challenges through the course. A course has several jumps which are set at a fixed distance and angle from each other according to the type of the jump and the height. According to the level of difficulty of the course, a speed is assigned in meters per minute. This is how the total time allowed is determined. Conventionally, the higher the speed, the more difficult the course is. I believe that the way you understand and read a course while walking it determines how you're going to perform inside the arena. Now, what are course efforts? A lot of you might have come across this term, but what does this mean? It is basically the total number of jumps in the course. A point to note here is that the number of jumps may differ from the number of obstacles, as a combination of 2 or 3 jumps may be classified as subparts of a single obstacle. So if a course has 10 obstacles which include 2 double combinations, we have a total of 2 extra jumps. So the total efforts in this case are 12. Moving on to the things I keep in mind when I'm at a show. Firstly, I make sure that I have enough time to walk the course and understand what the course designer is demanding at each place out of me and my horse. To translate this into aids my horse understands when I am in the arena, I need to first have a very clear approach in my own head. So I usually adapt this. I first walk the course and find out the conventional striding and distances, and then rewalk it and tweak my approach lines to get in line with my horse's temperament, flexibility to adjust, and all the horsey variables all in the back of my mind. Secondly, I make sure that I have enough time to warm up. I have observed that a lot of amateur riders like me struggle with competition nerves too, and not having enough time to warm up just doesn't help. When I start warming up, I always make it a point to walk my horse in loose contact for at least 5 to 7 minutes, and as a rule, not to pop over any jumps in the first 15 minutes of warm up. Lots of transitions and forward movements in these 15 minutes help too. My biggest tip to any amateur is to enjoy the puzzle solving process of course walking and not rush to go mount your horse and overwork it in warm up. I have made this mistake and learned it the hard way. Anyway, as promised, I am now going to talk about a very iconic and influential athlete in the sport of show jumping. The oldest competing show jumper at the Olympics, he holds a special place in everybody's heart. None other than the 62-year-old British show jumper Nick Skelton. He has witnessed and lived the evolution of the sport in every sense. He retired very recently in 2017. He also won the Olympic gold medal for Team Great Britain in 2012 at the London Olympics, and it was a very special moment as the home crowd cheered him on. He then went on to bag the individual gold medal at the Rio Olympics in 2016. Both these medals were won on his champion horse Big Star, a favorite of many during those years. I call him the most influential and iconic rider because he has made his name in the sport by proving his horsemanship skills and determination above all. He suffered a major neck injury in 2000 at the age of 43 and only returned to the arena in 2002. He's been to 7 editions of the Olympic Games. He's won numerous nation cups, World Equestrian Games, and the European Championships. Alright, guys, that's it for this episode. Do drop in your comments and suggestions, and if you have any questions, I would love to address them. And you can reach me on Instagram at the rate Rochak and please do like and share this. New episodes every Sunday at 12 a.m. IST. Thanks for tuning in at All Things Equine with Aris. Happy horsing!